Where's the fuck my book go? All right, so let's try to speak up a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Pure Evil MMA. I'm your host, as always, Evil Eddie from MyMMAnews.com. We got another live in-studio guest from right here in CT. We got Harrison Adamo joining us here today. What's going on, Harrison?
What's up, brother?
So, obviously, you're in the local scene right now. Let's start here. Nick Newell probably is one of the biggest known names around here right now. What did you think about his Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series fight? Like,
Nick's a beast.
yeah,
I actually started training with him since day one.
We're at Andrews?
Yeah, at Andrews. Yep.
What's the story there? Like, where did Nick actually start? Because he gets a little crazy with making sure people, like, know the lineage. Like, he was in high school. I think Andrew found him in high school. He went to Andrew's gym, and then he opened up his own gym. And then he got the shot with Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. But the gyms are pretty close. Like, it's not that bad far away. But what do you feel like changing gyms? Is that, like, a really hard thing for fighters to do?
I guess. I mean, honestly, like, you got to, once you get, like, good enough, you got to do what's best for yourself. And, you know, if changing gyms is a thing you need to do to get better and grow as a person, a fighter, you know, get better skill-wise. And if you feel like you're not evolving, then it is necessary.
I feel like that's got to be so hard, though. It's, like, kind of like breaking up with somebody in a way, isn't it? Like, especially somebody that, like, you feel like that close connection with, that works, like, extra special on you. Like, that's got to be hard for a fighter to, like, kind of come out and be like, hey, even cross-training, like, is that a little weird, like, to do sometimes? Or
sometimes, I mean, like, it depends what I'm doing. I mean,
I know some fighters are for it, some are against. Like, take, for you guys out there, probably the Team Alpha Male issue with, like, Cody No Love and even though that's squashed now, and Cody No Love and TJ Dillashaw, like, it's just, it could really hurt somebody. Like, it can hurt your coach, it can hurt, especially when they make it, you know?
Yeah.
Right? That's got to be one of. But what did you think about Nick's performance? And do you think he'll get another shot?
I think he'll get another shot. I mean, you know, I know Nick, and I've seen him, and he beats the hell out of me if I ever go with him and stuff like that. But, I mean, he did good. I mean, you know, the guy just literally uses wrestling the whole time, you know. I mean, props to that guy. The guy was, he's the Team Alpha Male Wrestling coach.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, the guy's obviously good at wrestling. But, I mean, I know Nick, and Nick does what he needs to do to get in there and out, and I know what if the loss is what he's learning. I know he's learning. I know he's at the gym probably right now working.
Well, it was hard because we saw Nick come home with the L and Justin come home with the L. We had a pretty hard season, Ultimate Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series for the East Coast.
New England was kind of rough.
But you know what? Like, people that you're training with, like freaking Blair Tugman, like, he's doing pretty good right now over at CES. He looks like a brick house gorilla. But like, it's just like when you see somebody from our area finally make it. Like, I was telling Justin and a couple of people when this topic got brought up, like, they were having a movie to be made about Nick Newell. Like, the people from 31 Cloverfield Lane, or I forgot the name of the movie. They're having a movie. This almost makes it a little bit better, though. Like, this is kind of like the most interesting part, because it's like almost at the climax at the end of the movie, where like you'll see him bouncing around the octagon at the end. But like, what is he gonna do right now? And that's like the most interesting thing about mixed martial arts to me, is like the storylines that come with it. Even though like it's kind of like a punch in the stomach that he had to come back home without the contract. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, this is the best part of it all. What do you think is going to happen here? Do you think he's going to get, like, I mean, what is it to the UFC to just put him on the freaking Fight Pass or something? You know what I mean? Like, they're talking about Logan Paul. They're talking about CM Punk. Like, this kid is the inspiration to so many people out there.
Yeah, this Nick story doesn't get any better than any story almost, you know?
Imagine being a kid, being amputated. Like, it's already hard. Like, you went to Hampton High.
Yeah.
Like, before we went live, we were talking about, like, the areas around here are pretty rough here in New Haven. Like, just generally around this area. Like, you can look it up. It's the third most dangerous city in America per capita, which you can look up what the meaning of that. Pretty much how many people are in the city compared to, like, you know, Los Angeles or whatever. So it's kind of crazy to think that, like honestly, when you're going through high school, like, my little sister just dropped out of high school because she's getting picked on, she's hanging out with the wrong people. Like, that shit's got to be hard, and especially if you have, like, a handicap on top of it all, to, like, come out on top. Like, I look up to that kid. It's an exciting story right now.
Same.
So who should we keep our eye on in Connecticut right now? You're training with some beasts like Yuri, Pedoflov. I can never pronounce the kid's last name.
Pedvarov?
Yeah, the kid from Russia. He's a monster.
I don't know, man. He's a scary dude.
he was supposed to come in studio before you, but he has a fight this weekend, and he's just like knocking dudes out.
Yeah, and I feel bad for the guy this Saturday, but I mean,
Why?
Yuri's got some pretty good hands.
Is it
so.
boxing? Is he gonna be doing boxing?
No,
Or is
he's
it,
MMA. He's doing MMA, but he won the New England Golden Gloves, and
well, that's what I realize Andrew likes to do a lot. He likes to, like Marissa. She's not just training in mixed martial arts. She's doing boxing. Like you were just training with freaking Chad Dawson, like fucking heavyweight boxer.
yeah, and it was awesome, because it's from Hamden. He's it's
They have a mural of him, like somewhere in New Haven, like by the hospital.
Yeah.
It's like on the side of a building.
yeah, it's like yep. I know exactly where it is. Yeah,
Right off the highway over there.
I always
going
say that to
towards Yale
people.
or St.
I'm like, there's a mural of the guy in New Haven. I mean, he knows his stuff. He knows, how to be a world champion 2 times, and he knows his stuff, man. But so he's opening up his new gym, and if anything, I would
Where is it? Is it in
Treadwell, where the space is.
Oh my God! I played shows at the space back in the day, and that place is weird. I've ever been in the space. Like it's like a basement. It's like a little studio basement with like a juice bar.
Yeah, it's right in that parking lot where the space is.
Over by the KFC and all that. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, so I mean, he was doing. I know the guy Chad was doing renovations on the gym, because I mean when I took my little stop there and toured there and stuff and worked out with them and stuff, it was nice. And he goes, "You see this whole wall?" He's like, "We're ripping the whole wall down, and these people are moving out, and we're gonna build the whole nother side of the gym." And I was like, "Wow." And it was like they had like a month to do it, and we opened September 1st. And September 1st came, and they were like, "We're not open yet."
Well, like when we were kids, boxing was huge. Like when our grandparents, boxing was huge. It's kind of faded in the last couple of years, but now it's like on the uprise once again.
I think it's on the uprise, and I've been watching it more than ever now.
Yeah, there's Ring One Boxing. They lost like one of their boxers last year. I forgot the kid's name, unfortunately, but there's a couple of boxing gyms around here, but they're in such rough areas. Where It's like, should I go in there? You know what I mean? It's got to be rough. But
I feel like if I was ever gonna go in there, I feel like I need to get invited.
Yeah, it's like by the methadone clinic. Like it's in a rough spot.
Yeah, so like that's why like when I went to Chad's, I was like, I'm just gonna go down there and check it out. And I'm in Hamden. I'm in my own hometown, but yeah, I know what you mean. If I was like, I wouldn't just go down to Ring One and just jump in and say, "Hey, But Chad was good. He's respectful. I didn't walk in there. I wasn't like, "Oh, I'm a fighter." Like, I was like, I want to sharpen my tools and see what I can do. And if you could help me out, that would be good.
So I was like cruising through your Twitter, and before we leave this whole Nick Newell subs thing, I saw something crazy. I was like, what do these guys think about this? So on 420, I'm calling you guys out right now. On 420, you were hating on 420. You said if you smoke the devil's lettuce, Grace is watching. In response to Nick Newell's, if you were pumped for today and considered a holiday, you need to take a good look at yourself in the mirror, evaluate your life choices. Hashtag, and I was cracking up about this. But like to fighters, like have you seen like CBD and like have you tried any of that? Like what are your thoughts on CBD and stuff like that?
Yeah, shouts out to O2 CBD.
Okay.
I should have brought some, honestly. So
like it actually works? Like I've never tried CBD. I smoke weed all the time, but I've never done CBD.
All right, I think the CBD will speed up recovery, and so like I mean, I'll read the benefits and stuff. Like good for stress, anxiety, which I have a lot of. So
everyone does.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody
Humans,
does.
We're irritable creatures.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll do it. I'll use the tincture and stuff like that.
Is it like a little droplet?
Yeah, it's like an oil. It's like an olive oil kind of looking, stuff, and you hold it under your tongue 60 seconds, and it's supposed to, just
immediately like that.
I don't think immediately.
Oh wait, then you swallow it. Is that what you're saying?
You swallow it.
So it sinks in under your tongue. That makes sense. Like dissolvable medicine.
Yeah, so like if my back's sore or something, like I'll take a Tylenol or something with it, just to. But
it's got to be better than like alcohol. Like people usually say, like if you have one beer after work, it actually really helps relax your muscles.
Yeah. Yes. That's basically what it is. It's not gonna like cure. You're not gonna get cured, but it'll speed up your recovery process, which is.
A lot of people
fighters are looking for.
They don't like taking Tylenol or aspirin because that's probably more dangerous than CBD, honestly, like for your liver and stuff.
Yes.
Especially as a fighter, like you guys have to be so careful of what you're putting in your body. And the weirdest part about CBD is that it comes from the same plant as marijuana, but yet it counteracts marijuana. Like if you were stoned off your ass and you took a little bit of CBD, it would actually help calm you down. It would take your high away, which is actually like pretty crazy considering it's from the same plant. Like it counteracts it. Like what are the odds of that? And I think Nate Diaz was the one that kind of like got MMA. Like involved. Like when I saw him hit that pen after the fights, I was like, is he crazy? Is this guy out of his mind? Like USADA's watching, they're gonna bust him. He was like, oh no, this is CBD. Everyone was going crazy about it, and now it's like everyone is on board with the whole CBD thing in the fight world.
Yeah, so I the first time I ever saw Nate doing that, I was like,
that opened up a lot of doors. Yeah,
it opened up a door for me, and I got to connect. And they sent me some CBD pens, and
hell yeah.
and I even took a picture after my fight I lost, and it was one of the toughest fights that I ever had, and I took a picture of me hitting the pen right after, and I'm like,
represent. You got to rep the set. So like, obviously that tweet kind of showed a little bit about like.
How old is that? I think that's an old tweet. I think that's,
it probably was. It probably was. 'Cause you're not that active on Twitter all the time.
Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter in a long time, years.
But like just that tweet, it just shows like you're kind of spiritual. Like you like Christ, like inspirational quotes and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean,
that's like a necessity as a fighter though. Like you can be on TV and get nationally embarrassed.
Yeah.
Or like feel some type of way about it when you get back home. Like how do you bounce back from that? And being spiritual got to be like a huge stepping stone.
Yeah, it's huge for me. Yeah, my mother's she works and stuff, but she's also a Eucharistic minister for the church.
My grandfather was a deacon, so like I grew up like backstage at church.
Yeah, same with me. So she's a Eucharistic minister. So she'll every time before I fight, she has that Holy Communion for me, ready to rock and roll.
Well, if you grew up in the city, like. I understand my religion more now than I ever did going to CCD. Like, it was cool hearing the stories, but
I got kicked out of CCD.
Now I can relate to them.
Yeah, I got thrown out
What'd
of
you
CCD.
do?
Just messing around, man. One of the kids took a fire extinguisher, sprayed it inside the church. We were just bad.
It's the after school.
Dude, I was a troublemaker. I was a troublemaker my whole life. So,
like, I think
I found fighting and kind of chilled out.
Well, like a lot of kids, they're like tuning in the show. They're like 18. Like a big majority of the people that tune in, especially on iTunes, is between 18 and 24 years old. I'm always trying to tell people, like, when you're in high school, you really think it's the end of the world, like, popularity contests and all that shit. Like, people get absorbed in all that and get lost. But, like, if you can, even if you're not into sports, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Like, did you do wrestling or what?
No, we never had a wrestling team. I mean,
Hampton never had wrestling?
No, which is crazy. I don't know how, where there's so many, New Haven, there's so many students in the place. Like, no, never had. I didn't
Does
do.
Hill House have wrestling?
I don't think so.
Then they're missing out. They could be like number one in the state. I feel like.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I don't know. No, I mean, I did play baseball, basketball throughout all high school and stuff like that. But
so
I kind of got out of shape and partied and stuff like that. 18.
Was that what made you become like a fighter? It was like get back on track, kind of. Like,
yeah. I mean, I was just working and stuff like that when I was 18. And
what did you do when you were 18? Where did you think your life was going? Like what did you think you were gonna? Where did you think you were gonna end up?
I don't know, man. I didn't know what I was just.
I don't think anybody does though.
I was just on a roller coaster ride. I wasn't going to college. I didn't, I didn't take the SATs. My parents never pushed me to do anything. I would get in trouble and suspended from school, and nothing would happen and whatever. I never got like punished and stuff like that. They never forced me to take the SATs. They never said, hey, when did the SAT? Nothing. I'd never even heard of that. I don't.
Well, even now, I feel like the culture, like, this is kind of a good segue. Like, we were just talking about Eminem. Like, when we were growing up, Eminem was, like, the shit. Like, it helped me get through a lot of shit, like, back then. But I feel a little weird listening to it now. We'll talk about that in a second. But I feel like music is really corrupting a lot of people that are a lot younger, like my whole sister's generation. And, like, I was talking with somebody else. And just, like, the rap culture, like, Lil Pump or, like, talking about Xanax or Lil Xan, like, it's really like a drug culture of music right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I never experimented with drugs, so I don't know. But
it's influential.
I smoked crazy weed.
Music is influential, like
forever since
a developing brain.
Yeah.
And you hear people like Drake on the radio. It's like, they're talking about sex. And if you think like, I would never let my little girl listen to that. I would never let my son listen. Like, I don't know how, like, I might be a neurotic parent when I get older. Like, seeing all this shit, like...
The music's crazy, man. What are the Weekend song, I Can't Feel My Face?
Was
like the biggest song, and it was just played on every radio station. Everyone loved it, and I'm like...
Little girl singing, or like...
I'm like, do you know why you can't feel his face?
Cocoa.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is that a 4-year-old girl singing I'm in love with the Cocoa?
Yeah,
talking about cooking crack? What's going on? Like, it's just crazy. So, let's talk a little bit about, like, the gym life, because one of the biggest MMA headlines going on right now, something that you guys can relate to right here, the whole Cowboy Cerrone thing. Something happened at Jackson Winklejohn's, Jackson Wings. obviously we know like Cowboy's been training there for a while now, and then Mike Perry is his new opponent. Mike Perry is new to the gym, but yet, like, did you hear the story?
Yes.
Just in case people out there didn't hear it, like, he pretty much Mike Perry's the new guy in the gym, and Jackson's siding with them, making Cowboy feel some type of way. We've seen this before in the past with Rashad and John Jones. What is that like, man? That's got to make somebody feel some type of way right there. Like the Cowboys got to be pissed.
I think it's crazy. Yeah, I think it's crazy. I mean, I don't know how much they're training together, but I think I did hear a story where they're like they're doing like the same classes together at
it's like the guys off the street, he was saying, or something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, like like they have.
Like, Mike Perry's doing the same classes.
Yeah, as Cerrone, like they have let's say their 7 o'clock kickboxing class, and like they're both in the same class, and
people know Cowboy style there too. Like you're training to beat him, like, and they have the inside scoop on pretty much how to do that.
Yeah, that confuses me, but Mike Perry and Donaldson are both badass guys.
Don't get me wrong, I like that Mike Perry's there, but I just feel like it's kind of a betrayal to Cowboy. But everyone's like, oh, he's like a prima donna. Like, remember Alistair Overeem, and my co-host James McSween listens to this. He's friends with Alistair, so don't get mad about this. But people say he was a prima donna when he would go to gyms. Like, he wanted special attention.
Yeah.
If you're in the UFC and you're at that spot, it would be regulatory to just be like, Mike, this is our guy. He's been with us for a while. Just for this one camp, you got to train somewhere else because it's just not fair. Then you can come back, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how they should have went with it?
I think yes. Oh, definitely.
Like, has any kind of tensions come, like, in the gym, like, at your gym or anything? Like, have you seen, like, any drama at gyms? Because I know there's a lot of drama that happens at gyms. Like, nothing really on that level. Like, when it's the UFC, that's, like, important to somebody's career. You know what I mean? Like, he has the right to kind of be the prima donna, want the extra help from the gym that he's been with for a while, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem fair to me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem fair at all. I mean, nothing crazy. I haven't really seen anything crazy like that in my gym, but yeah, that is crazy that they're letting them just do this whole camp there and stuff like that. And
we have to clear something up. On one of the listeners, I was supposed to start the show. I promised one listener I'll start the show asking you this question. When I told everybody that you were coming here for the in-studio interview, it was going to be live, and they could watch it on Twitter or YouTube, they were all like, oh, let me do some research. Let's get some questions together. First question was like, yo, his SureDog page is wrong. So this is a fair warning because SureDog has messed up a couple of my interviews before in the past, and I think I brought it up before, and they blocked me. They have your record completely wrong. Like, I'd be pissed as a fighter if a website had my fight history wrong. Tapology had it right, that all your bout listings right.
yeah,
But, like, how does that make you feel? That's got to kind of piss you off. Like,
Tapology's
the way to go.
My go-to, yeah. I mean, I'll sometimes check SureDog, but I haven't checked it in a while. Yeah, and
it sucks because it's like, if you can't keep up to date, then don't have it on your site. Don't give people wrong information.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like ShareDog's like for like the professionals.
ShareDog went to shit after Jeff Sherwood got bought out, and Jeff Sherwood was one of my first interviews I ever did. Great guy.
Oh, wow.
He made some good money from selling the website, but after that, it really went downhill. It's sad to see, but Tapology on top here, and there was something I saw on your Tapology page. What happened? Like, you're on a one-fight win streak right now, but what happened to the fight before the bout got canceled against Austin Shala?
Yeah. I was just in the middle of like moving, and I just got a brand new job, and I just hadn't been training or anything, and but then.
So what was it for Premiere? Was it?
It was for Reality.
Oh, okay, Mohegan. Okay.
Yeah, Mohegan. I just wasn't training and stuff like that. So, but then, I think like after it got canceled and stuff like that, I've never had that's never happened to me before. I quit that job and fought.
Oh, really?
After
You're getting too stressed out?
Yeah, and then like it was just weird me like not trying to not take that fight.
And made you feel some type of way, like.
Yeah, and I was like, I want to fight. I quit.
But you want to make sure you're 100%. Like, how long was it? Like, you signed your bout agreement. How long until you're like, I can't do this?
Oh, it was like 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, it was like immediate.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, all right, let's do it. And then I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, I'm not training. I can't get here anytime.
Well, because some people like literally show up at an event and be like, I can't do it. They'll get shook or whatever.
That's insane to me.
It's got to be frustrating for the opponent. Like, did you feel real bad like that you had to do that? Is that why like you quit your job? You're like, I got to take this for real.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how a lot of fighters get. Like, at some point in your career, it's like, I'm this age, I'm going to be 30 in a couple of years. Like, where am I going? Like, I got to either go 100. It's all or nothing at this point. It's sink or swim at this point because feel like a lot of people our age fall back on safety nets a lot. They don't want to pursue something, which I find like when I go out with my friends and shit, and I tell them I do this. It's like, bro, you need to go to college. You need to, like, no, man, I think I have a shot here. Like, I believe in myself that I can be one of the top journalists, especially on the East Coast. So it's like, you really have to believe in yourself, and I find that really hard if you're a fighter and you go through a loss to, like, remotivate yourself. Like, that's got to be super hard.
Yeah, no, we all love you, man. We think you're the best too. So
What did you think? Like, what did your family think when you made that decision to quit the job? Like, were you getting a little anger from a couple of sides? Were people a little mad that you were doing that, or
I
do
don't
they
know.
believe in you?
I mean,
Support you?
they were like, I mean, at least you tried, blah blah blah, and
Well, I'm saying when you quit your job, were they like, you shouldn't quit your job, or do they support you? Like, if you believe in yourself, follow this dream.
yeah,
They're behind you 100%.
yeah, more, yeah, because you know my mother's, like I said, like I never did anything good in school or anything, so like my mother was like, wait, you can actually learn how to do stuff, and I was like, yeah, you know, so she supported me 100%.
Does she go to your fights?
Yeah,
Does she freak out or what?
she does freak out, but not anymore.
Oh man,
She you know, my first fight ever, she was just like, you know, good luck, blah blah, and I won, and I looked right after my win, I looked right at the cage, and she was right there, and I couldn't believe she was right there. She was nervous. My second fight, she was there, crazy nervous. After that, she never gets nervous now because she sees, you know, she knows me, so she sees me.
Is it like, does it add like a little aspect like shit? My mom's like kind of like on the side of your head, or do you just black that all out?
I block it all out, man. I'm trying to win, and I'm trying to get in and out as safe as possible, man. But I don't mind, you know. But I train, like I said, I train for 5 minute rounds, even though I'm fighting 3 3 minute rounds. But I want to go in there knowing that I'll go 5 minute rounds with whoever.
So the first time you had like your first fight, like at Mohegan or something, what was surprising about it? Like, was there anything that caught you off guard? Like, I can only imagine like being backstage, they're like calling your name, you start walking out, and you smell the beer, the Vaseline, people cheering, and like that's got to be surreal, especially at Mohegan. Like, there's been some great fights. Like, I think BJ Penn fought Lil Evil there back in the day. Like, there's been some great fights that's happened at Mohegan. Like, was that kind of surreal moment for you?
Being in the back is. I'm trying to remember like the first time. Honestly, man,
Is it nerve wracking, or does it not get any easier?
I'm one of the most nervous guys ever, but when it comes to fighting and being in the back, I'm not nervous. I mean, yes, I'm nervous, but I know that I'm 100% ready, and I've always been. Every time I was gonna fight, I was 100% ready.
You listen to music back there? Like, what do you do to get ready for a fight?
Sometimes I'll throw on some music. I'm not one of the guys that sit there with their headphones on and like sit there.
We're joking around. Like 8 Mile or something. Spaghetti thrown up on yourself.
Yeah, no, we're in the back, man. Me and my coaches, and we're just laughing. We're joking. We're trying to keep the energy good and up. And when it's time to go, and they call your name, you're going up next, and we know what to do, and it's good.
So I was recently I've been going to like a lot of regional shows. Have you ever been to Cage Titans?
I haven't, man, and I mean I would definitely love to fight for them because the energy at that place is
so surreal,
it looks
man.
Insane.
Like, it's literally better than going to the casino. I swear to God, like, you would think, all right, I'm going to the Mohegan Sun, I'm going to Foxwood, and it is awesome. This was so cool because it really reminded me of like Gangs of New York or something like that. Where it's like people on balconies,
they're looking
like,
down.
Yeah, I love the fucking vibe that there's Joe Giannetti who was just on Ultimate Fighter, making the announcement, like just everything about it. The walk, like it was like a legit community of people out there. Like
that's like what it is. I feel like it's like a Friday night football game for the that's like what it is. You know, it's like a Saturday night fight at the Memorial Hall.
And it's on Flow Combat, which is a great platform.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's good too. You know, I mean, they do a good job, and it's cool, especially with the commentators.
Mm-hmm.
They got that one guy going nuts all the time and stuff, and so that's pretty cool.
So listen, between Cage Titans, Premier FC, reality fighting, I mean, what other promotions out here that have you been fighting for? I know there's one over at the Big E they do all the time.
I did Ammo's first. I fought. Fight. My second fight was for Ammo's first event, which was a little rough.
What's the guy, Bill Vigil?
Yeah, Bill's a great guy. But the only reason why it was rough was because they just had made that rule where I can't even remember the rule where I think all fighters need like a CAT scan.
Really?
They did something like that,
Where is it? Is Biggie in New York? Where's Biggie?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. So it's
Yeah.
real strict out there, like the athletic commission.
It was like a new rule, and then I remember that we were like fighting it, like all the promoters and stuff. They were like signing petitions and
Cat skin for what? Like checking for CTE or
yeah,
what? Really?
yeah. It was something crazy like that. And then I remember the owner for Premier was was going to all the meetings and stuff, and she was
he
like,
must have been so stressed.
she said that it got postponed to like we got 6 more months to handle it, and it just so happened that like all a lot of the pro fighters and stuff like that pulled out because
They just didn't want to deal with that.
that's what it was. They couldn't get it on time. They couldn't do all the stuff on time. So the card only had, I think, 5 fights.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mike Kimball fought on that.
Shout out to Mike Kimball. I did a great interview with him.
He
He's gonna
KO'd
be on
some
Bellator.
dude nasty.
Really?
Yeah, it was cool because he fought before me. KO'd this kid so nasty, and then like the people who were, I was next. The people who were, watching me, they were like, "Is that gonna happen to you?" And blah blah blah. Because it was
because there's a dark side of MMA. People don't realize.
I said that
you could see some violent shit. Like it can happen at any time.
like this. You see the
Look at Overeem. I mean, I'm so sorry, James, but like that was a great one. Like when Overeem got knocked out, it was like, is he dead? It's crazy.
the James Gallagher fight against the kid Ricky from New Jersey.
Yeah.
That was one of the most brutal.
Ricky what? Because more people were talking about Gallagher losing than the guy who beat him. Ricky.
It starts with a B, and I'm not sure how.
At least you remember his first name. I think it's a lot better than one.
I kind of remember it because Blair has been up to that gym. He has a picture with the kid and stuff, so he shouted him out. So I was kind of familiar with the guy. Like, oh, okay, and that guy had one of the most brutal knockouts.
Gallagher was being real cocky in there.
Yeah.
People enjoy that shit.
I tell people, I'm like, now you see how I am, because that could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
That could happen to me. That's why I train so much. But I train a lot of boxing, and then when my fights go to the ground, I'm like, dude, I'm like, it's an MMA fight. I train just as much boxing as I do, the ground stuff. It just so happens I get you on the ground, and people.
Well, Mike Kimball, man, that's definitely somebody I want you guys to keep your eye on. He's coming up October 12th for Bellator, but he's going to be on the prelims, which is it rubs me the wrong way, because here's somebody that was just on the main card for Mitrione versus Roy Nelson, got a brutal first round knockout within like the first minute, and now you're downgrading him. Like, people are coming in Connecticut to come watch the local fighters, usually like to root for them. Mike Kimball, you want to get behind him, build him up, put him on the fucking main card, put him on Spike TV for people to see.
Yeah,
like he's putting on.
Yeah,
he's putting on. The interview I did with him got 10 times more views than I had for the entire month. Like,
yeah,
the kid keeps it 100. His energy's out the roof.
He keeps it 100. He comes there to fight every time. He's a fighter. He comes to fight.
It like there's some people that just have like that energy, or just like it just gets people excited, wound up. You know what I mean? He's like one of those people.
Yep.
Jesse Kozakowski is like one of his boys as well.
Yeah.
Is it kind of weird? Like, you guys pretty much all know each other, but somewhere down the road you might have to fight one another. So like, is it kind of like a weird dynamic? Or
well, they're both pro.
And people fought at your gym against him, like Harrison. Harris.
Yeah, Harris and another guy, Justin. So
Justin
Christie.
Okay.
He's another. He's been around for a while as amateur, but like I said, it's amateur, and
So how many fights are you gonna do as an amateur? Do you not like have a goal yet? You're just feeling it out because you've done 3 fights. This
5.
Year? 5 fights this year?
No, not this year. I've done 2 this year.
2 this year. It's supposed to be 3 because 1 got canceled. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many more times are you gonna fight till the end of the year?
I don't know. I'm trying to get in there as much as possible and just see what I can do. I'm gonna fight again in November for Premier.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
When was that? When did you sign your bout agreement?
Maybe a couple weeks ago.
How does that all work? Like, what do you get, an email? Like, how does this go?
I kind of get a message, and kind of like.
Who finds the fight for you, or do people reach out to the gym?
They reach out to the gym to.
Or do you like beef with people on Facebook and like,
no,
come on, motherfucker?
No. No, they kind of like, she'll message me and I talked to your coach already.
Okay.
And he's always
Andrew.
Yeah. Okay. And he's always down. And dude, I'm always in the gym. I'm always training. I'm never not work. I'm always training everything. So, he knows. He's like, I think he's ready. Ask him. he's not there to baby. Andrew doesn't baby people.
Yeah,
You know,
he keeps on
a lot
like
of,
he was.
but some people want that. They want to be baby, but he doesn't baby people. So you go in there and you bust your ass, and if you bust your ass, he'll notice.
I was surprised when I went there because I interviewed Double MB. That's my nickname I gave her, Marissa. Instead of the Spider Monkey, I'm calling her Double MB.
I like that.
But honestly, when I went in there, he was brutally honest with me. He was like, "Yeah," I was like, "I want to set more interviews with people at your gym here, so send them my way." And he was like, "Well, we got a couple people have upcoming fights, but they're not being serious about it. Like, it's hard for him to get behind them. Like, he's straight up honest about it. Like,
Yeah.
they're not showing up to the gym.
If you're not on time,
He's legit about it,
he's
man.
legit.
It's very real to him because here's somebody who tried out for Ultimate Fighter back in the day with some of the top dogs. Like, he's trained with some of the best people. He's been on Bellator. He's been in the Connecticut scene forever as one of the MMA guys that is like on the line of really actually making it. So like he knows like the ins and outs of it all, which is like he's not gonna take any bullshit. I realize,
I mean I just try and listen to everything he does. And
How did you find his gym?
I don't know, man. I think I think I was like I want to fight. I want to not fight. I want to just start working out, boxing and stuff.
Yeah.
I went to a gym with punching bags, and I knew a couple like old school, like just like they used to box. So they would show me some stuff, and I'm like, let me try to see if I could go to a gym and do this. I think I saw an ad in the newspaper, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I saw an ad in the newspaper.
Old school style, ad in the newspaper.
It was.
Circle it with a pencil.
Yeah, there was an ad in the newspaper. It was like, like a special price. Yeah, I think it was like $120.
And they still do deals. Like, I get emails from Andrews all the time, like, end of summer deal and stuff like that they do.
So I went down there and I was like, I want to try this out. I'll do this deal. I'll sign up. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I want to sign up. Sign me up.
So then when was it like, I want to fight? Like, how did that go? How did they set up your first fight? Like, how does that all work?
I was training for a while, and I was just training with all the pros, dude. I got fed to the wolves, man, right when I started. Bad. Tyler Rose.
Make sure. Oh, my God. Tyler's a big dude.
He's been beating me up, man, since the beginning, man. Like, just...
North Branford's own.
Yeah.
That farmer life.
He's like a hero. He, like, saved his brother's life.
What? Did he really?
His brother was in, like, a crazy snowmobile accident.
Yeah.
Tyler's Superman brain kicked in.
That kid's
he, like, tied his brother's leg and stopped the bleeding and saved
his life.
Like, legit saved his life.
Damn. He's fought some pretty tough guys. One guy was on the Ultimate Fighter, Eric Spicely. He's fought before in the past.
Yeah, that's when Tyler kind of, started like thinking about like this is, because he tore his whole pec.
Damn.
His pec got infected too.
Oh shit.
Yes, but so.
And he's got a girl.
Yeah, he's had a rough road. I'm pretty sure his parents are gonna give him the farm.
Well, that's a big thing. Like you can't if that's gonna be your farm. Farm works hard, man. If you know anything about North Branford, my family was the Augers. Tyler knows who the Augers are. But there's the Augers and the Duties. They were like the two biggest names in North Branford. Farms. My grandma grew up on a farm, and like her brothers all own farm. It's hard work, dude. Like you got to make sure you're healthy, and like I understand his so he hasn't been in the gym much lately. That's what Harrison was telling me.
Yeah, he's there once in a while, stuff like that. He's never gonna lose his skill.
So yeah, getting back to how does the contract come through? You talk to your coach, and then
he'll say to me,
"But do you get 3 choices? One choice?"
Dude, I'm not. Dude, I don't pick and choose, man.
Do you look into the people you're fighting, or just leave it to Andrew?
Yeah. I'm down for whatever.
So who's the upcoming fight? Like, what's the guy's name?
I think his name's like Jake. Oh. I'm not sure what his last name is, but his name's.
Is he from Connecticut?
I think he's from New York. This guy I have to find a little bit more information about, and I'm pretty sure they'll make like a little poster of him stuff. But I have no idea who he is. But I mean, all my fights have been pretty decent. Like my first fight, the guy I beat, he just fought for a title, and I think he's fighting for another title. My second fight was for the ammo, and I won, and I was 2-0. And then I'm like, all right, I want to fight someone who's 2-0, who's active. So I kind of called for it, not called him out, but I called for the fight.
Yeah.
I'm like, how about
you want to test yourself?
Yeah, I'm like, how about this guy? And this guy tested me good.
So what did you learn from that fight? Like when because it's a learning experience at amateur.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, you can't take it to heart.
Yeah, I pace myself and breathe and get my cardio a little bit better, and that's what I learned.
You learn more like when you go through those experiences than anything else, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and I've never, done anything like crazy like that. So it was my first loss, and I was just like, I don't
does
know.
it inspire you more like after like shit, I should have done this, I should have done this. Well, let's get back in there. Like
Yeah.
you get excited like about that? Like,
Yeah. And then I kind of asked for another fight against a real tough guy, and he beat me. And
well, right now you're on a 1-fight win streak, rear naked choke. What does that feel like when they pull them off you, and like how does that feel like when you get that victory? There's got to be nothing like it.
Yeah, there's nothing like it, man. It's a good feeling. It's good.
Well, look at like BJ Penn. Like the guy's what 40-something years old, and like still trying to do it right now.
That's
it's
crazy.
Like,
yeah.
It's like a high almost. I gotta imagine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. I'm telling you, man, it is.
It's got to be, especially like at the casino or something like that. Like, look, oh man, I can't even imagine like how cool that must be.
Yeah, they kind of prepped me for before I fought. They were like, let's get you cornering first. Let's get you cornering guys because you're training with these guys every second. You're their main guy, but you don't fight. Do you want to just be a punching bag for the rest of your life? Do you want to just come into the gym and get beat up and be good and not try and show what you can do? And I was like, all right, well let's try it. Do you think I should? And I tried kickboxing first, and Andrew was like, I don't know if you should take this kickboxing fight because I don't know where I'll be. He's like, I think I have something to do that night.
He cares about his fighters a lot.
Yeah,
like,
and it was, and in my mind, I was like, it was the first time where I kind of was like, not rude or disrespectful to him because he'll kick the shit out of me. But but I was like, I kind of don't care what he thinks. I know in my mind is the first time in my life I'm ready. I was like, I'm ready right now.
So
I can't wait any longer. I'm ready for this kickboxing fight. I did it, did another one, and then I was like, all right, he was like, let's do MMA. And he knew I was ready.
Hell yeah.
Because I was like, I kind of like disobeyed him. And I was like, all right, well, if you're not going to be there, I'm going to grab these two guys from the gym, and they're going to come up with me.
Who came up with you?
Guy Matt Allen and Brett Kerpa. Brett Kerpa is another fighter from the gym, and he's undefeated.
Gotta get him in there.
But I'm going to say he's retired.
Why? What do you mean?
I don't know. He kind of just
helping out around the gym more.
Yeah, he's one of the coaches there now and stuff like that.
Well, there's a lot of guys like you, Marissa, Yuri, where if you can focus the energy on and teach you guys, something big can happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that gym right there. Is,
I won't fight without Brett in my corner.
No.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. I hear his voice all the time. I hear him clear and loud, and when I'm fighting, so. He's
well, wait, how old is he?
He's 28 years old. I'm 28.
So he's young guy.
Yeah.
He's a young guy.
Yep.
Well, Andrew, I mean, like, kind of talking about, like, BJ Penn kind of segued back into that. Like, Andrew's a little bit older. At some point, it's like, I want to stop with that drive. I still got to be there. Like, BJ Penn, what do you think about that? People that age still continuing to fight. Like, I was like, I don't mind watching it. I would love to watch him fight Ryan Hall coming up. That's what they're aiming for at the end of the year. But, I mean, is it too much on the body? Like, before you even say anything, like, this morning, I hope this girl's not watching. I had a girl sleep over. I was trying to get her out of the house, and I got out of the house. My neighbor came over. He was laughing at me because there was a big memorial party this weekend. Saw the girl come over or whatever. He was like, oh, late night. Yeah, she was over for a while, and he was talking to me, and he was like, so I'm out talking about his daughter and how she got this crazy concussion. And check this out, because this boggled my mind. He goes, my daughter was just sitting there. She has like a 4-year-old son, ran into her, jerked her head back. It hit the cabinet. Give her a concussion. She's had it for 6 years. She throws up, gets dizzy all the time, just from that one impact. And I interview fighters all the time. Like, I think that's fucking crazy that something like that can happen for one incident like that. Like that scares the shit out of me. So when you get older, it's got to be even more of a risk. Like,
yeah.
When is enough enough?
I don't know, but dude, Andrew trains like a madman still.
He was supposed to. Take a fight, and he was like, no. Backed off.
Yeah. He tries to see what if there's a jiu-jitsu tournament or something like that. He tries to prepare himself, but
that would be cool.
He's a fighter because he got his eye poked, last week, and it with someone's toe, and it cut, and he has a big black eye, and it sliced him.
And he loved it.
He loved it. The only reason why he was mad was because he only got to do a half of one round. Not because he couldn't see, not because he almost lost his eye, not because it was cut and bleeding. He was only mad because he only got to do half a round and he couldn't get the training.
I gotta get Andrew.
And I was like, that is a sick. I'm like that because that happened to me once. I wasn't mad about I couldn't see him. My eye was poked and I had to leave. I was mad because it was like the second round.
Thirsty for it, right?
I was like,
Thirsty
what?
for it.
Yeah.
So before we end today's interview, there's a couple subjects that people love hearing what fighters think about some of the current news. Obviously, Conor McGregor versus Habib Nurmagomedov. Where do you stand there? Are you a fan of Habib, fan of Conor, and how do you think it's going to play out? What do you got there? Oh, no shit. No shit. Let me show this fucking camera. Look at this. Just so people can see on Periscope. That is, when did you get that done?
I got that done a while ago. But not to just be a Conor McGregor groupie or anything.
That's sick, though.
Just because it's a sick, I like the symbol and, you know.
I got people on YouTube, it's the old.
Yeah, I got a little Irish in me.
Here, go walk up to them because it's live. Just it's on top of the mirror right there. Show them that tattoo. That's so bad. I never seen somebody with a Conor McGregor tattoo. That thing is sick, dude. Where'd you get it done first?
I go to Burning Hearts in
okay.
Waterbury, Connecticut. Yep.
Shout out to Burning Hearts.
Yeah, so I'm good friends.
I believe they're on here, right?
Yeah, right at the front. Yep. Shout out to Burning Hearts and the guy, good friends with the guy Wes, and that logo right there was an experiment. He goes, let's try this. He goes, I have this logo. He's like, I don't use it. He goes, let's try it on your. He's like, let's try it for the shirts. He's like, I don't want to use it for my shop, and I think he uses that logo now because it's
because it's so badass.
Yeah, it's cool.
Dude, I would get that tattooed on me.
Right, it's a cool like logo. People think like I made that logo up and like it like means something. I'm like, no, I'm like that's what the tattoo shop logo is. I'm like, it just looks pretty sick, So.
Hell fucking yeah. So you got a couple Team Tug men for
yeah,
Blair.
Blair's little thing and
Ray and Mike's Deli. Where's that?
That's in Hamden, man. That's one of the biggest they won best sandwich in the 2018, 2017.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear this to your fight.
Yeah,
I love when you go to a fight and you see all the people that were, the represents. You can tell.
Yeah,
they wear their gyms shirts.
I get them.
Like that.
I try and get them made every fight.
We're gonna hang that in the studio somewhere.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. Dude, yeah, so.
So yeah, Conor McGregor. Obviously, you're a fan, but here's where I stand with Conor. Like when he goes into fights, like I get hyped, but I get nervous. Like the Aldo fight, I was like, oh, even the Seaver fight. It might sound ridiculous, but I was like, Seaver could stop him.
Yeah.
Dustin the Diamond could stop him. I mean, Chad Mendes. I shit my pants in that first round. He gets in the second round, waves him over. The take, oh my god, it's so exciting every time he goes in there. But I never am guarantee that he's gonna win. Like I love that factor about him. He always proves himself. In tough situations. But Chad was a small featherweight. Habib's a bigger lightweight.
Yeah, and I'm a big wrestling fan nowadays because I kind of just from training with like Blair and those guys and stuff like that. Just learning a lot of wrestling.
So how's this gonna go? Because Conor looked amazing at 155 against Eddie. Like he looked fucking amazing. Way better than 145 where he like depleted himself. 155 he just looked prime. He looked like he was in his prime that night at Madison Square Garden. Like I had to hang it up in the studio, man. Like that was a fucking amazing main event. He proved himself that night.
I think I think he'll win if he's like that again.
Eddie was a wrestler. Eddie had an amazing background in wrestling. Even coming into UFC, he wrestled guys to get to the title shot. Look what he did to Showtime Pettis. I was able to shut that style down. Like, and he wasn't able to do it against Conor. Can Habib do that? Like, how do you see this fight playing out?
I think Conor will catch him because just like Eddie Alvarez was a wrestler, but he's also a brawler. I don't think Khabib is a technical striker. I think
he throws these wild punches.
I've seen him a lot. I think in his earlier days, if you watch, because I have Fight Pass, so I'll try and watch. I'll try and study all that stuff. He'll throw like a jumping back uppercut into a hook.
Yeah,
and it's like really awkward, but it catches guys and stuff.
Because people are worried about the takedown so much.
Yeah, so it looks like he's doing that. Yeah, so I mean, we got to see how.
It's crazy to think about.
Conor will be, and
I mean, honestly, like I said,
how calm you could be with a crazy guy running at you like that.
Honestly, who would have won in that Tony Ferguson versus Habib fight though? Because that was the fight that should have really declared this one.
I just cringed my toes together. I don't know.
4 times.
I want to see that. I wanted to see that fight more than anything.
Yeah, I did too.
I can't. I don't know. It's hard to call
Isn't
it.
it?
It's
tough.
it's just something we all just want to see.
Well, here's how like a lot of people feel about the Conor thing. It's like it's either going to be a landslide for Conor or a landslide for Habib. Do you kind of see it going that way too? Like it's going to be one-sided either way.
Yeah.
It's,
I think it's going to be one-sided, and if we're all wrong, then better for us, more entertaining for us.
well, like one of the big things going around people are talking about is the UFC's a little mad about Conor not doing the media run.
Yeah,
and
I saw
kinda
that. I don't
goes
know if
into
I can't tell which is fake or real. So, but I did see that.
well, like that's part of his game, like getting in people's head. You know what I mean? So, like, does that take away anything from the fight? Because I feel like he could get in Habib's head.
Yeah.
Artem got into Habib's head. You know what I mean? Like, even that picture of that raging ally Quinta took on the bus of Habib. He's all scared when Conor's. You saw that picture? He's all shook.
I was gonna say that Conor's trying to get into him on the social media thing, but yeah, I think he should do a little press conference and get in his head a little bit more. And
he has to. That's like part of his game plan. So what do they do after this? Like, if Conor wins, does he fight GSP? Is the real question, because I think that's what a lot of people are aiming for. And before you even answer that, if that does happen, it should be at 165, which isn't a division. Do you like the idea of opening up new divisions? And what are the pros and cons of doing so?
I like the new divisions, but you know, because
especially the lightweight, like there's so many people in that division. It's you can spare a couple people to go to 165.
Oh, definitely
a
lot of guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you do 165, Conor and George St. Pierre, that's a good one. That's
the place to make.
Yeah, that sounds good. But I like the open weight classes and stuff. I mean, I don't have any bad experience with any like weight cutting or anything like that. I'm kind of like all natural. I mean, I'm like what I fight at 155 and I'm like right now I'm like 158.
Okay, so you're real close.
Yeah, and, you know, so I just kind of stay at that weight and just see how strong I can get and how sharp I can get, and I just try to feel fresh every time I go in there. I don't care how big the guy is, and like my fight against Billy Goff.
GEOFF.
Yeah, GOFF.
I see his name all the time on Facebook. I'm like, how do you say that?
Yeah, I think it's just Goff.
Yeah,
he's such a cool, nice kid, man. But dude, he came in. He looked twice the size of me in the fight.
Really?
And I felt good.
It blows my mind how people can make so much weight in like 24 hours.
Yeah. I mean, and it was good and stuff. I felt good in there. I felt fine. But when he just was on, when he was on top of me, just I couldn't get him off me. It was fucking insane. I couldn't get
like a waterfall or something.
I couldn't get him off. He was just heavy, and he was just wrestling really good. And I would try and turtle out and try and get out, and he kept.
How much weight do you put on? Like from weigh-ins to the day after? What do you say normally you pack on?
Like 5-10 pounds.
How do you do that? Like, what do you do right after weigh-ins? What do you have to do to like that? Not that people would want to gain like 10 pounds overnight or anything, but like, what do you guys do to do that?
I drink I do a lot of like liquid and stuff like that.
So it's a lot of water.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of carbs and stuff like you know, I don't drink. I don't do like a lot of artificial stuff. I try and keep it like organic. They have a drink called Recharge. It's like a Gatorade. It's like organic Gatorade. So like I'll drink a lot of that. You know, it has a lot of carbs and sugar and electrolytes in it. When I'm not used to drinking that a lot,
So obviously, I think one of the craziest things, we'll end on this note, you're talking about, you know, weight cutting and you not having to cut a lot of weight. Well, Darren Till gets a fucking title shot and he missed weight against Wonder Boy. That's got to rub a lot of people the wrong way. How do you feel about that? Because the whole interim title with Colby Covington, stripping that for a guy who missed weight, they're rewarding the guy who missed weight. Like, it doesn't make sense. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think that's right. I mean,
it's never happened
if
before.
If you can't, like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't take a fight if I knew I couldn't make the weight, or
especially
if I was
going to oversee, like, to fight somebody and they didn't make weight. It's like, fuck.
I mean, like, you know, I have to do. It's a big opportunity.
Yeah.
And but it is disrespectful, and knock on wood, no one at our gym has ever missed weight, and that's the fear of kind of all of us.
It doesn't look good.
We don't want to be the first person in our gym to miss weight.
Well, it's almost crazy because he's being rewarded for missing weight. Molly McCann was also overweight that night, and we've seen a lot of people, like, at one point in the year, it was like or 4-4 for people who missed weight and won, and yet they get to advance and go forward, and now you're giving this guy title shots. Like, come on.
I know.
This is so cringy. You
I
can't
don't-
reward people for
Yeah,
this.
I mean, I guess that's just the fight people want to see.
Is it though? Like,
I'm not really that interested in it. I mean, I'm gonna watch it and stuff like that.
of course, yeah.
I think Woodley's super athletic and
Woodley's gonna take it.
and I think Andrews met Woodley like years and years ago, like before he even like was good or anything like that.
Yeah.
Andrew was like, just by looking at him, like talking to him and stuff like that and seeing him, Andrew was like, that guy's gonna be the world champion one day.
Really?
He called it.
Damn.
So, kind of.
I can't wait to get Andrew in here. Like, he kind of chimed in with a double MB interview, but I got to get him here in studio and just have him tell all these stories. Like, he has a lot of stories.
I pick everyone's brain apart, man, because I try and see how they get ready and how they talk to themselves and let themselves know how they're feeling and stuff. Like Darren Till is like, I'm not scared of anyone, and so he has a good mindset.
Yeah, he was like, I don't care about my daughter or my girlfriend. I was like, people are like, no, don't say that. Like, you could have worded it a little different. People are in an uproar about that.
Dude, that's like what I say.
It's a selfish sport,
yeah,
though, right?
It's very.
You had to quit your job to, like, you know what
Dude,
I mean?
I'm single now. I don't have a girlfriend.
That's the way to do it too.
It's hard.
Well, then you see Blair and his girlfriend, like, I need a girlfriend maybe, because Blair like went through a whole relationship. He broke up with his girl, not to get like inside. He shared this on the interview, and now he's got this new girlfriend. And it's like you got to be living life, but I've wasted so much money on girls. I've wasted so much time with girls. You get distracted with them. You know what I mean? So like at this stage, it's good to be single. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you a little more.
You miss it sometime. You know what I mean? You miss.
Yeah. But
it is what it is.
But man, I'm used to grinding and I'm used to doing anything myself.
So listen, closing statements here. Obviously, people can follow you on Facebook, Twitter. What are they typing on Facebook to find you?
Type in Harrison Adamo, Adamo.
And I'll post that down here below in the link for you guys as well. And what's your Twitter and Instagram?
Instagram is Harrison Adamo Blessed.
And I'll
definitely
tag
check it
that
out.
As well.
Definitely check my Instagram out. That's where
what do you post on there?
I kind of just post like most of my workouts and post a bunch of music on the story. But I post like my progress and I'm in shape. You could look at the picture from now that I'll post whatever from yesterday and the post from 2 years ago, and I'm identical. I try to stay in that same shape and yeah, I think I started training. I started training at Andrew's gym way over 200 pounds, 215, 220.
So
I went down to
155.
I've made 148 before.
Jesus, damn.
And without a sauna, without touching a sauna.
Really?
So
that's crazy, man. That's inspiring because a lot of people like that, but they don't have the commitment.
Every time I say it to people, they don't believe me. And I'm like, believe it.
Well, I weigh 210 right now, and you weigh 155, and you look just pretty much the same size as me because you're just fucking ripped. You know what I mean? So like, honestly, man, I'm looking forward to your upcoming fight. I'll definitely be there ringside. Where can people get tickets? You have tickets? How do people get a hold of this?
I'll get tickets. I think there's a couple other guys from my gym fighting on the same show.
Who? Anyone we know?
I'm not sure yet, but
we'll find out.
You'll find out soon, and it'll be a bunch of us, and we're looking to take over the show.
For premiere?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're looking to take over the show and put on some good fights, and I'm looking to.
What else CES?
I don't want to say what I'm going to do in the fight, but I'm looking to.
You're not looking that far ahead. Like make a. Do you have a prediction? How do you see this fight going?
I'm looking to win, man, like always. But
just looking to win. Yeah. I feel that. I always get nervous asking players the question.
Yeah, sometimes I get yelled at because I say too much on the internet.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But whatever. I like to talk. So.
Well, you got to promote it a little bit. So obviously you're pushing for the finish. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
You just finished your last guy, rear naked choke. So.
I'm not looking to go. I'm not looking to what's it called? Go all 3 rounds. I'm looking to finish, and that's it.
I'm looking forward to it, man. And obviously you got some fucking sweet merch. We'll be hanging this up. Where does this name come from? The grind is real.
The grind is real, man.
What is?
Dude, I've been saying that
from.
Just nonstop training. I go in the morning. I go at night.
Grind
what
is real.
Like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm grinding, man. The grind is real, and I would just say it, and it'd be funny, like little quotes, like under the pictures. We would all.
Sounds like the hottest album in 2018. The grind is real.
Yeah. And then, like,
new track.
Some guys will be walking around the gym. What's up, grind? The grind. I think it's kind of dumb, but I But I just tell them like,
Your nickname's Blessed, though, right?
yeah, I like because of the church and blessed.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, that makes sense.
you know, I got a lot of blessings in my life and stuff like that. But
You
but
share a lot of religious stuff too, which I like.
yeah, so and you know, even like the homies from like they're like working. They're like, dude, I got work. 14 days in a
9
row,
to
and
5,
they'll let me know. And they'll be like, the grind is real.
Yeah,
Guys will tag me stuff. The grind is real. Just like even like guys just working out at their gym, like who don't like fight or anything. They work out. Who I'll work out with them. They're like, the grind is real. It's kind
you
of
got to
like
get that
it's
lingo
a
thing
movement.
going.
It's a movement. That's what
I
it is.
can't wait to fucking rock this at the fight for premiere, because honestly, man, there's been so many great events this year locally. Like, I've been enjoying a lot of them, so that's just another one on the list here. Last but not least, man, I want to thank you so much for coming here. We got to get your coach in here, more people from the gym. I'm really looking forward to it. Double MB is making some big moves as far as girls go.
She don't mess around.
So
She don't
hopefully,
fight.
I always see her running back and forth down Route 80. Like, she literally runs right by the house over here. I always see her. It's pretty funny. Like,
I don't see her sit down ever. She
has an inspiring story too, like with what's going on right now, and it's very inspiring. And she's gonna help somebody. Like, seeing that and what she does, how she's handling it, it's something else, man.
she's
really
a fighter, man. She's tough as hell, and sometimes when I'm like thinking of if I think I'm having a bad day, I try to think other people and see what stuff that they've been through, and I'm like forget my little dumb problems and
grind is real. Life gets real, right?
Yes.
Life gets very real.
Yeah.
Especially in mixed martial arts. Well, guys, make sure you subscribe down below here on Pure Evil MMA on YouTube, youtube.com/Pure Evil MMA. If you're listening on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, thank you so much. Make sure you hit subscribe. We do the show all the time. I want to thank Harrison for coming here for an in-studio interview. And guys, make sure to catch out his next fight coming up. Other than that, guys, I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, MyMMAnews.com. Without evil, there's no purity. Behave yourselves. All right, so last but not least, we need a thumbnail. And then you're good to go. Give this video a like, guys. Have a good night.